What's up, everybody? It's me, Anthony, and it's the time of the week again. It's Anthony's NFL Picks. Week 17. Heard me right? We are finally in the 17th week of the NFL already. And you may be wondering, where is my usual setup right now? Right now, I'm actually in my car right now filming this at this moment. I am chilling in my car. And I'm speaking to myself right now, which is kind of weird though, but who cares? Because, I got to do this because usually I was going to do this either tomorrow, but again, there's games tomorrow because it's a Christmas special and this is a Christmas edition. But anyways, we're in the 17th week now, and this weekend was a crazy weekend, I'll tell you, but we'll get to that later. But before we start, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you get updated on my newest content. Anyway, let's get started. So, last week's my record was 13-3, and now my overall record is 166-73. So let's get things started. And kicking it off for Wednesday, we got two Wednesday Christmas games. On Netflix, we have the 14-1 Chiefs and the 10-5 Steelers. Chiefs are here after they beat the Texans after Tank Dell suffered that really bad injury, costing them their whole season. They're in a lot of trouble right now, and I don't think they're going to lose this game because Kansas City, again, is very good. They're taking on the Steelers. They won all their home games. They're 14-1. If they win this game, they get the number one seat in the AFC. The Steelers are here after they lost to Baltimore 34-17. My gut saying the Steelers could win. However, I think Kansas City's going to top off again because the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. They always find new ways to win. And again, the Chiefs lost on Christmas last year, but I'm going to go with Kansas City, though. I know it's in Pittsburgh, though, but Kansas City's a better team because I think the Steelers are a little bit weird. I got to find out, so I'm going to go with KC. Chiefs will beat the Steelers 27-24. Close game. Chiefs will be 15-1. Steelers will drop to be 10-6. We move on with our next game. And coming up with our next game for Wednesday, we got a Christmas game at 4:30 between the 10-5 Ravens and the 9-6 Texans. One team has come back from a win, the other's coming back from a loss. And fun fact, these teams actually played each other on Saturday. It was the different schedule. The Texans played the Chiefs and the Steelers played the Ravens. Ravens, they're here after they beat the Steelers on Saturday, causing them to clinch a playoff berth, and now they're in the playoffs. However, either the Steelers or the Ravens could win the AFC North. They're going on to Houston against the Texans, who lost to the Chiefs and also lost Tank Dell for the whole season. The Texans are really banged up this week. They have a lot of injuries. That is a huge red flag for Houston. But I'm going to have to go with the Ravens. I know it's in Houston, though, but I'm going to go with Baltimore. The Ravens are a better team. They don't have much injuries. And Deontay Johnson, fun fact, is actually taking on his former team. They claimed him after Tank Dell got hurt, the Texans. So I'm going to have to go with the Ravens on this one. Ravens will beat the Texans 30-13. Ravens will be 11-5. The Texans will drop to be 9-7. Either way, the Texans win the division because the AFC South is bad. But anyways, let's move on with the next game. Coming up next with Thursday Night Football, we have the 8-7 Seahawks and the 4-11 Bears. Seahawks, they're here after they lost against the Vikings 27-24, which causes me not to panic that much anymore because the Commanders, will get to them later. But anyways, they're taking on the 4-11 Bears, who have now lost their 9th straight game. Ever since the Hail Mary against my Commanders, ever since their bye week, the Bears have not won a game since. They have not won an away game this season, and they haven't won a game at all. And because of that, I'm going to go with Seattle. The Bears are 4-11. They're just so bad, that Bears team. They were so good at the beginning of October, and then all of a sudden, they just hit rock bottom. So I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks on this one. Seahawks are a better team. I don't know if they're going to win the West, but I think the Rams are going to. But I'm going to go with Seattle on this one. Seahawks will beat the Bears 28-17. Seahawks will be 9-7. The Bears will drop to be 4-12. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got Saturday games now because we're at the end of the season. Our first Saturday game is between the 9-6 Chargers and the 3-12 Patriots. Gosh, why do we get so much bad games on Saturday? The Chargers are here after they beat the Broncos on Thursday night with that weird kick. Now they swept the Broncos this season. The Chargers, I think they could win this game and possibly clinch a playoff spot with the Ravens and the rest of the other division. I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one. The Patriots, they played very good against the Bills. They were winning 14-0. However, the Bills came back and won the game. But Drake May has seen a bit of an improvement. So I'm going to have to go with the Chargers on this one. Chargers are going to win this game. I think they're going to pull off. Chargers will beat the Patriots 20-10. Chargers will be 10-6. The Patriots will be 3-13. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game for Saturday, we got the 9-6 Broncos, and we also have the 7-8 Bengals. Broncos, they're here after they lost to the Chargers on Thursday night. They were winning some of the game at half, and then all of a sudden the Chargers came back and won, which I needed that because I chose the Chargers. Now they really need to play good, though. However, they're going on in Cincinnati against the 7-8 Bengals, who have been very hot lately. Ever since they lost to the Chargers on Sunday night, they've been a little bit better. They're Joe Burrow's seeing a bit of an improvement. I think they could pull an upset here. I think the Bengals will beat the Broncos because it's in Cincinnati, and I just think it's going to happen. Joe Burrow's looking at a little bit of an improvement, so I'm going to have to go with them. Bengals will beat the Broncos 34-31. Bengals will be 8-8. Broncos will be 9-7. We move on with the next game. And for Saturday Night Football, we have a division battle. It's an NFC West matchup between the 7-8 Rams and the 7-8 Cardinals and the 9-6 Rams. My mistake. Cardinals are here after they lost to the Panthers in overtime, 36-30. And fun fact, the Cardinals have been eliminated from the postseason. They will not be going to Super Bowl 59. However, they're going to be at home away against the Rams. And the Rams are here after they beat the Jets 19-9 in MetLife. The Rams are leading the division. If the Rams win this game and the Seahawks lose, the Rams win the NFC West and the Seahawks could possibly face elimination. But I'm going to go with the Rams. The Rams are a better team. Matthew Stafford still has some stuff. Puka Nacua has been an amazing wide receiver for the Rams. It's his second year. Ever since he came back from injuries, he's been better. So I'm going to have to go with the Rams on this one. I think the Rams are going to split the series with Arizona. They got blown out by them week 2, 41-10. I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. Rams will beat the Cardinals 21-14. Rams will be 10-6. Cardinals will be 7-9. We move on with the next games. And now we're on Sunday games. And our first Sunday game is an NFC East matchup between the 12-3 the 7-8 Cowboys and the 12-3 Eagles. Cowboys are here after they won against the Buccaneers on Sunday night, 26-24, which costed the Buccaneers to kind of decline. However, Cooper Rush is still a really good quarterback, though. Even though the Cowboys have a lot of injuries, Trayvon Diggs is going to be out for 8 months. Zach Martin is hurt. They still got CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is really good with the Cowboys, and I think he could do some good stuff. They're in Philadelphia, though, however, against the Eagles, who are 12-3 after we ended their winning streak, after the Eagles got upsetted by my Commanders, baby. Woohoo. The Eagles were playing good. Jalen Hurts suffered a concussion, however, and Kenny Pickett had to come in, and I get it. The Commanders are underachievers. But anyway, I'm going to go with the Eagles on this one. If Jalen Hurts doesn't come back and Kenny Pickett starts, then I don't know. But the Cowboys have a very good defense. I'm going to have to go with the Eagles on this one. Eagles will beat the Cowboys 33-19. Eagles will be 13-3. Cowboys will be 7-9. And actually, the Cowboys have been eliminated from the playoffs. But anyways, we're moving on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an NFC South matchup between the 4-win Panthers. The Panthers, who are now 4-11, they're going on to Tampa Bay against the 8-7 Buccaneers, who lost to the Cowboys on that crazy win. And now the Falcons lead the NFC South. If the Buccaneers win, my Commanders make the playoffs, and I will be very happy if that happens. I think the Buccaneers can win this game. However, the Panthers have been playing very hot, though. They beat the Cardinals at home, which is very big for the Panthers. They eliminated the Cardinals out of the playoffs, and I think they could win this game. However, the Buccaneers are a bit on and off. They're going to be back at home, so I think they're going to sweep the Panthers. But the Panthers, I think they could improve next season, though. I think they could win either 7 or 8 games next season, the Panthers. If they have the right weapons around them, if David Tepper is a good owner for once, they could probably be a good team. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers on this one. Buccaneers will beat the Panthers 29-22. Buccaneers will be 9-7. Panthers will drop on to be 4-12. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC East matchup. A lot of division battles this weekend. This is between the 4-11 Jets. They're going to be away against Buffalo, who are 12-3. The Jets are here after they blew that game against the Rams, 19-9, losing because the Rams are a very good team. However, I did not know the Jets would be this bad this season. I thought the Jets would be 11-4 or even better. They would be, I don't know, a playoff team perhaps, contending for the wild card. But they're 4-11. Aaron Rodgers is clearly not the answer. The Jets fans, I feel bad for them. Just sell the team, Woody Johnson. However, they're going on to Buffalo against the Bills, who have beat the Patriots in that ugly 24-21 win. I'm going to go with Buffalo on this one. The Bills are a better team. They kind of had an up and down. They're at home. They have a home field advantage. I'm going to go with Buffalo on this one. Bills will beat the Jets 24-18. Bills will be 13-3. The Jets will be 4-12. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we have the 7-8 Colts and the 2-13 Giants. Colts, they're here after they beat the Titans. They almost blew that game 38-30 against Tennessee, which is a very ugly win, though. However, the Titans are not that great of a team, and the Colts are okay. However, Anthony Richardson still trying to develop. He didn't get much because, back last October, you may know, the AC sprain he suffered in his rookie season. Second year was a little bit weird for him. He got benched for Joe Flacco. And the Giants are here after they got completely steamrolled by Michael Penix's debut as a Falcon. My friend Nick was at the game, fun fact. 34-7, they got completely embarrassed by the Falcons. And the Giants have not won a home game this season, and this is their last home game of the season because they're going to be in Philadelphia next week for the Eagles to wrap up this season. I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. I don't think the Giants are going to win a home game this season at all. They're going to be completely winless at 0-9. The Colts are showing an improvement. I'm going to beat them. Colts will beat the Giants 33-26. Colts will be 8-8. Giants will be 2-14. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got a battle between Derek Carr's former team, even though if he's not playing or not. We got the 3-12 Raiders and the 5-10 Saints. The battles of the worst teams. Fun fact, the Saints actually are eliminated from the playoffs. They will not be going to the Super Bowl this year. And now they're going to be against the Raiders. If Derek Carr loses this game, if he even starts, then Derek Carr's lost to every single 32 team. The Raiders, they're here after they beat the Jaguars 19-14, which was really bad. My brother was upset about it because they wanted the Raiders to tank. But again, I don't know if, Antonio Pierce is going to keep his job as the Raiders coach. But to be honest, I think they're going to beat the Saints. The Saints got completely shut out and embarrassed by Green Bay yesterday. 34-0. The Saints are just a bad team after all. They got to really rebuild. Spencer Rattler, he's just not it. And Derek Carr, I thought the Saints would be good or decent this season, but I didn't expect them to be 5-10 at this time. I thought they were going to be battling for the division. But I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one. Raiders will beat the Saints 23-20. Raiders will go on to win their second straight game at 4-12. The Saints will drop to be 5-11. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC South matchup, and this is between both teams are 3-12, the 3-12 Titans and the 3-12 Jaguars. Both teams are coming back from losses. The Titans are here after they lost to the Colts, and Will Levis actually got benched for Mason Rudolph, and Mason Rudolph tried to shine, the red zone reindeer tried to shine for Christmas, but it just didn't work out in time, and they completely lost to Indianapolis. Now they're going to be in Jacksonville against the Jaguars, who also lost to the Raiders 19-14. The Jaguars have a lot of injuries. Mac Jones is hurt. Not Mac Jones. Trevor Lawrence is hurt, and Mac Jones hasn't been doing that great of a job starting for the Jaguars. And, Travis Etienne is going to be out. Gabe Davis is always hurt, though, but you know what? I'm going to have to go with the Titans on this one. I think the Titans are going to win this one. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go with them. It'll be weird, though. I'm going to go with them. Titans will beat the Jaguars 17-16. Titans will be 4-12. Jaguars will be 3-13. We're moving on with our next game. All right, coming up with our next games, we have a battle between the 7-8 Dolphins and the 3-12 Browns. Dolphins, they're here after they won against the Dolphins. They won their game last time. I forgot who they beat, though, but they have been a little bit better. They're getting there. They're just not really up there quite yet, but again, they're doing okay. However, they're going to be taking on the Browns, who also lost to the Bengals. The Bengals have been very hot lately, and the Browns, they're 3-12. They're just not looking too great. And Jameis Winston actually got benched for Dorian Thompson-Robinson, which is just not good. And, they're taking on Miami, who, I forgot who they took on. I remember the Dolphins won this weekend. They're 7-8. I just don't remember who they beat to, become this good, or, yeah. Oh, they're here after they beat the 49ers 29-17. I forgot they beat them for a minute. I just been, just thinking right now, because, people are kind of, it's a weird week. But anyway, I'm going to go with the Dolphins, because the Dolphins are here after they beat the Niners. Dolphins have been playing a little bit more hotter, I should say. I still think they could win this game, Miami, but they really need to win. If they don't, they could be eliminated because, the Chargers and the Broncos are both 9 wins, and if anybody loses in the AFC, because the only 3 teams left in the AFC are the Colts, Bengals, and Dolphins could make a playoff push. But to be honest, I'm going to go with Miami on this one. The Browns, if they start Dorian Thompson-Robinson, they're going to probably lose. The Browns are going to probably be tanking. They're probably going to get a new quarterback. I don't know who they're going to get, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins. Dolphins will beat the Browns 32-28. Dolphins will be 8-8. The Browns will drop on to be 3-13. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an NFC North matchup between the 11-4 Packers and the 13-2 Vikings. Packers, they're here after they shut out the Saints, and now the Packers are now in the playoffs. They clinched at an 11-4 record. They've been really doing good. Jordan Love has been great. You know, Josh Jacobs' trade was really good for the Packers. They were really good. And now they're going on to Minnesota against the Vikings, who beat the Seahawks barely 27-24. I'm going to go with the Packers. I think the Packers will pull an upset. I think they're going to beat the Vikings. The Packers are a great team, and the Vikings haven't lost a game. The Vikings have won 8 straight games. They look really good. Sam Darnold's getting comeback player of the year. Don't get me wrong, though. But I still think the Packers have a little shot of winning this game. And you know what? I'm going to trust my gut, and I'm going to say the Packers could win over Minnesota. I know it's in Minneapolis, but I think they're going to split the series. Packers will beat the Vikings 44-41. Packers will be 12-4. The Vikings will go on to be 13-3. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got Sunday Night Football. We got the 8-7 Falcons between my 10-5 Commanders, baby. Hail to the Commanders. The Commanders, they're here after they upset the Eagles at home 36-33. I love the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, you know, he had a lot of turnovers. My dad's been saying that stuff, and you've seen my Instagram post and my YouTube post that we beat the Eagles. I was screaming. I was very happy. We barely beat the Eagles, and it's very nice for me, you know, to finally see them beat those filthy Eagles. I hate the Eagles. I don't know if we make the playoffs, God forbid, knock on the glass that I make the playoffs this season, but I'm going to go with them over the Falcons because the Falcons, Michael Penix threw an interception. I don't know what it's going to look like. I really hope they win. Please, Commanders, please win for me. I really want them to make the playoffs. I'm going to go with the Commanders because we're at home, though, so it's going to be an easy game, hopefully. Commanders will hopefully beat the Falcons 20-17. Commanders will be 11-5. The Falcons will be 8-8. We move on with our next game. And last but not least for this week, we have the Monday Night Football game between the 13-2 Lions and the 6-9 49ers. The Lions, they're here after they beat the Bears. They are now 5-0 in division. If the Vikings lose this weekend, they win the NFC North for the second year in a row, which is really cool. I'm going to go them over the Niners. The Niners are banged up. They lost to the Dolphins. They were winning on and off, but they're eliminated from the playoffs as well, the 49ers. They're 6-9. Man, this Super Bowl hangover really screwed them over this season. I'm going to have to go with the Lions on this one. I think the Lions are going to do good. However, you know, they have a lot of injuries still, but they still beat the Bears because, you know, the Bears are just the Bears. I'm going to go with the Lions over the Niners. NFC Conference Championship rematch game, FYI. I think Detroit's going to win this one. Lions will beat the 49ers 36-13. The Lions will be 14-2. The 49ers will be 6-10. And that is it for this week, everybody. Tune in next week for Anthony's NFL Picks Week 18, which will be premiering next Tuesday, December 31st, aka our last NFL pick for the 2024 Week 18, which will be premiering next Tuesday, December 31st. And this will be my last NFL pick for the 2024-25 season and our last one in 2024. But anyways, this is Anthony signing off, and have a great week. And hopefully I'll be back in my, recording studios instead of being in this car. And I had the paper for the script. So anyway, this is Anthony, and have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you then.